There will be just so the audience members know, there will be a local recording of this show that's saved on a computer. That recording will eventually be uploaded to YouTube for posterity. And we're going to take just another minute or two to bring all of our audience members in. And once it looks like we have most of the ticket holders in the room, we will introduce the show. So thanks for being here. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to turn on your microphone and ask, and the comedians who are here will be happy to help you. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, yay.
Audience members, while you're sitting here, you might want to slowly ease into the thought that maybe you will unmute yourself for this show. Maybe you will let us hear your beautiful voice. It's what we all crave. None of us have seen another living soul beyond these little tiles for weeks and weeks. How it feels. Hey, what's up, Andres? All right, I'm still letting people in, so we can just hang out for a minute, y'all. The audience member here, Andres, he's a friend of mine who I made online during quarantine. Woo! Woo! He's in San Francisco. Audience members, if this is your first time using Zoom, or if you haven't used it in a while, you can also take this time to reacquaint yourself with the chat function, which is below. You can access it below your screen. So if you're on a desktop or a laptop computer, you can take your cursor down to the bottom of the screen and you'll see the little chat bubble. When you pull the chat bubble up, you'll notice that you're able to send a message to the entire group or to performers privately. So you are welcome to use that as much as you'd like. And I'm still looking to see the set list. I'm gonna go find it since it looks like no one else has done that yet.
I'm looking.
Actually, in the interim, while I'm doing that, let's take a minute to, because I guess I'll just say, here, let me put it on speaker view. Oh gosh, please don't look at me that closely, guys. I really like being 1/20th of this size. It's the size that I would prefer to be. Hi guys, my name is Jolie. I'm Jolie RX. I'm the host of the Blue Mic. This is our first ever feature show. Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes.
Can you make some noise if you can hear me? This is legit. This is like,
Yeah.
guys, when we ask to hear the sound, like, it isn't a platitude. It's a real legit concern that we have. Okay? Because in addition to the fact that we're each in our own tiny little cages that we built for ourselves and didn't realize was our only means of existence until the quarantine. Yeah, we also, like, something might happen to you. So I want to make sure that we can hear your voice here on top, so we can keep tabs on you too and make sure that you stay safe throughout the duration of the show. Great. So let's practice the woo cam a little bit while I track down our set list. So audience members, here's how our set tonight's gonna work. We're gonna start with our comics taking 7 minutes to showcase their material. This is all material that they've built during the past 10 to 12 weeks of time. So you're gonna hear some stuff tonight that you might agree with. Maybe not as stale and musty as that stuff that's coming out on Netflix these days, but I'll keep my opinions. You know what I mean? So comics will have 7 minutes, and during 7 minutes time, the camera will be on them. So then when each comic ends their set, we will turn it back to the grid view. So the grid view, if this is your first time on Zoom, is the view that looks like this. All right. When we turn the view back to the grid view, that means that it's time for you to clap. You can clap before the grid view, but we take a minute on grid to clap because our comics also like to see this after the show and see all your bright and smiley faces. If this is your first Zoom show, I hope that you end up loving it. There's nothing to be scared of. You've already taken the first step to come here. And I hope that we will see you back many more times. So after the set, we'll go on the grid view for a minute while the applause kind of tapers. And then before we head back to our next comedian, I'll switch it to the woo cam for just a second, okay? So what that means, and like this is where you have to exercise the utmost discretion, audience members. The woo cam is this view, but anyone who makes a sound will pop onto the screen. So if you want to give an extra woo in the interim, it will also show you, okay? Let's practice that now while I find the list.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The energy roiling,
Woo.
guys.
Who?
E.
Where? Where?
How?
Oh. Dove? Dove
Donde?
è signore? Il pic della regina, dove è la pic della regina?
Audience,
Quanto costo?
it's also important, I think, to note, audience members, that our show, which has been happening on a weekly basis since the week of May 14th, is actually a show that starts at 10 p.m. So you're getting us now at our 8 p.m. state of mind. I know. It's like, I can't believe I woke up so early, right? I'm definitely not a morning person myself. All right, almost ready. We've got the chat. Right now, I'm noticing that actually none of our audience members are unmuted, which is kind of a bummer. So I'm going to take 1 minute to just explain how unmuting yourself works, if perhaps you don't know. Because again, we would really like to hear your laughter. We do think that each other is very funny, but also we've heard a lot of this material before because we've been practicing it for you. So it would really mean a lot to us if you took the lead to unmute yourself. The way that works, yeah, and you can do a little woo when you do. The way that works is just head right over there into the participants list. You can access that by taking your cursor down to the bottom of the screen in the center of the browser window. But you know, if you do that, you need to be on your best behavior over there. Okay. Chip? Rachel? Rachel's not even showing us her mouth right now. We got to make sure she's on her best behavior with those blue lips.
I'll be standing for my set. I'm just sitting low, creeping at the bottom of the screen.
This.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, hey, we're almost 10 minutes
right
in.
here.
So maybe it's just time that we started doing comedy. What do you guys think?
Woo!
I feel like I've talked enough already. I'm sorry that you've had to hear my voice so much. Again, guys, I'm 𝙍𝘼𝙈. I'm the host of The Blue Mic. The Blue Mic is a comedy show that started out because of COVID. So lots of comics found their way to the internet because our venues shuttered. And many of us were unemployed because turns out we aren't really that good at contributing to society in any kind of way. Our drops were the first to go. No, but actually, we found a community here that's really cool. I think that the messages that people want to share are relevant and necessary. And I do not know where I would be right now if I hadn't met this group of people. But getting down to the real side of things, guys, this is the Blue Mic, okay? And I know this is like a little bit stuffy, but the Blue Mic, so Blue Comedy is comedy that is racy and risque. Okay. Sarah Silverman is known as a blue mic, or as a blue comedian. Bill Burr is known, every good comedian is known as a blue comedian. Okay. Or they have material that is considered to be racy or not meant for children, you know, or somehow uncomfortable. And I created this theme mic called the Blue Mic because as all these new open mics were starting to pop up on the internet in the wake of COVID, I thought to myself, I don't know if I would just walk into a Zoom room like this with a bunch of people I didn't know and start to tell them my opinions about my personal life because I haven't met any of them. So we made a space that is a safe space for naughty thoughts. And that's what you're going to hear. So I hope that you really enjoy it. Cool. Any questions before we get going? No. Everyone's just silently watching. Okay, cool. Again, please unmute your mics. I feel like I'm going to be doing riffs between every set. So can we just take it away and give it to our first comedian? David Thorne, are you ready to like really set the tone with this mic?
I guess so, if you're ready to let me loose.
All right, y'all.
Let me loose.
Here we go. Our first comic tonight. He comes to us from Minor Hill, Tennessee.
Uh-oh.
But he's not there now, y'all. He's over there in Sacramento.
Uh-oh.
I
Yep.
don't know how he got over there or what he's doing there. But there's a reason that we don't broadcast live to the internet, and that is because we are trying to protect the identity of our friend, Mr. David Thorne. He's our Zamboni driver. He rides the Zamboni every night at the tail end of our show to sweep the eye.
If you're muted, if you're unmuted, and I can't say anything.
That's a sweet audience member. We're going to get to you later, sugar.
All right.
Folks, can we give here, let's go on gallery view. Can we give a huge round of applause to our very brave first Blue Mic Canadian taking it out to the main stretch.
Yeah.
Thorne, everybody. David Thorne.
Yes.
All right, guys. Today's I heard today's National Orgasm Day, so I'd like to thank you all for coming.
Oh yes.
As the first one, I had to say it. So Jolie's making me go first, which is known as taking the bullet. So I was thinking I'm going to tell a suicide joke, but I think we can all agree on one thing. Suicide's not funny unless you hang yourself with anal beads. Then people are just like, was it a suicide? Speaking of anal beads, I feel like there are people that like to put them all in and then have their partner pull them out like they're starting a lawnmower. I'm pretty sure that it makes the same sound. I told that to one of my friends, and he said, that's called ripcording. And then he pulled out the anal beads, and turns out it sounds more like a parachute opening. So my friends have came to see me do comedy quite a bit live, and they've said, David, you hold the microphone way too close to your body. I said, well, that's the only thing I get to hold close to my body. They said, sounds like you need a dog. It's like, well, I can't fuck a dog. Technically, they said, yes, you can, but I'm not trying to go that route. So I did what a sane individual would do is I went to the sex store and I bought a fleshlight. Those of you that don't know, that's fake vagina. I took it home. I took it out of the packaging and it was gold. And it reminded me of the Infinity Gauntlet. I thought to myself, if I get all 6 Infinity Stones, can I wish that it's a real woman? I told that joke to my friend, and he said, David, for being able to wish for anything, you set the bar really, really low. But what does he know? He's gay. So I was hanging out with this lady friend the other night watching Netflix, and Uncut Gems is what we watched. And afterwards, she played with my Uncut Jimmy. There's one thing that's certain, though. The movie was nothing like what happened afterwards because the movie sucked. I have a interesting conspiracy theory that I've formulated about why plastic drinking straws were banned in some parts of California. And the reason is felching. That's what it is in my mind. For those of you that don't know, felching is when you have anal sex with someone and you come inside their asshole and then you suck it out with a straw. People use plastic straws for this. And do you know why? Because paper straws suck ass. They're terrible. They're so terrible. So I was with this really, really freaky girl one time. She was into anything. She didn't care. Whips, chains, popsicles. We were hanging out one night watching Netflix, smoking the devil's lettuce, and I got the munchies, so I went to the freezer and I got a popsicle. When I got back, she wanted me to fuck her with the popsicle, so I did. Afterwards, I asked her how it was. She said it was really, really cool. It gave a whole new meaning to the phrase Netflix and chill. So I was with a girl one time, and today is my birthday. And
Yeah.
give it up for me one time. I forgot to mention that. My birthday is National Orgasm Day. Go figure. But anyway, I was with this girl one time, and it was getting near my birthday, and she asked, "What can I get you for your birthday that I can make DIY?" Because she was really into DIY projects. I said, "You could make me come." I suggested a hand job, and she informed me that DIY means do it yourself. So people often hear my accent and like to assume things about me like, "David, you must really love country music." And that's not the case. I hate country music. It's quite possibly the worst music in the world. There's one song that I can't stand in particular, and that would be "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood. And that's because it's a country song about a country. And that makes it 2 times as bad. Just like square dancing. Okay, now, as Jolie said, I'm not from California. I'm actually from a little small town called Minor Hill, Tennessee. And that's not minor like we're going prospecting for gold. That's minor like if she's crawling, she's in the right position. It's the type of town where people think the song "Bees in the Trap" is about Africanized killer bees. The type of town where people think that a trans person is someone who owns a Trans Am and has a mullet. We had 2 police officers. One was also the garbage man. The other one died in the early 2000s of boredom. I'm just kidding. It was lung cancer from smoking due to boredom. Yes. The only black thing that he didn't beat was his lungs. Just kidding. We didn't have black people in our town, but we did have a lot of people that liked to cosplay as ghosts and had a burning hatred for lowercase t's. Because these people, we got to have 2 Santas in our annual Christmas parade. Regular, traditional Santa Claus, bringer of happiness and cheer, thrower of peppermint candy canes. And then the alternative, Ku Klux Klan Claus. He threw candy canes too, but his didn't have the red stripe on them. Yes, even the candy canes were whites only. Do I have, we good?
You want to give us one more? One more?
Give you one more? Okay, I'll give you one more.
Little earworm for us for later?
We'll end it on this one right here. So I moved to California, and California has one of my favorite landmarks hands down in the country, and that's the Golden Gate Bridge,
Yeah.
which is known for its high rate of suicides. And it got me thinking, the ironic part about killing yourself at the Golden Gate Bridge would be driving through the Robin Williams tunnel to get there. Anyway, that's been my time. I'm going to go ahead and give it back to Jolie. Thank you very much.
Notice how the grid view is on now. We can all see each other. All right. All right. And audience members, if you're not doing something naughty, maybe show us your face.
You guys, I think David and Charlotte might be doing something naughty, but they've been very encouraging with that still photo the whole time.
Oh my God. I think it actually might behoove us to check in with them now.
Are you guys?
Hey! Because
what's up, you two?
this is pretty straight. I don't know. There's
Your
like the don't
profiles
ask,
were
don't
so
tell,
anticipatory.
The opposite of that.
David just has better equipment than I do, so he's sharing.
That's sweet.
Oh my God.
So, audience members, these guys will be coming up just later. They are two comedians who are out of Dallas, Texas. And man, I met each of them individually from the other, and I would have never told you that I thought they would have been friends, but they're bed buddies.
I'm half his size.
Oh man, I'm really imagining that, and that makes me think I should get my head checked. But guys, I don't have healthcare. Don't have healthcare, so yeah, this is an important one where, you know, if something that you hear tonight, audience members, if it doesn't make you laugh, but it makes you concerned, please write it down on a piece of paper. And call a social worker. Please call a social worker. This is a cry for help in so many different ways.
Wait, real quick. David and Charlotte, knock, knock.
Who's that?
The Alamo.
The Alamo who?
You forgot about the Alamo? You forgot. You're from Texas.
All right. You know how big Texas is?
Sorry.
That was great.
The Alamo is what, like 6 hours south of Dallas? All right. Anyway, this is not the geography bee, though, guys.
That's correct.
Those days are over. I don't ever want to go back to the geography bee. Please don't make me. Excellent. So, and audience, that one guy who is somewhat assertive but doesn't have a fancy background like the rest of us, he's just a poor, struggling Los Angeles Hollywood comedian. And we're just here doing a wellness check on him, making sure he's okay.
I appreciate you guys intervening like this. I've been a problem.
Every day, I remind him to eat almonds. Every day.
I got garlic spread. Bread, guys. I'm ready.
All right. Wow.
Fancy. Ooh.
I'm going to feed the ducks right when I'm done.
I thought that this beer I was drinking was going to be the only downer I would have tonight, but here we go. John Hart. All right, guys, coming at us next. Let's head on over to beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we have a big friend of the Blue Mic. This beauty actually just recently made his way to us. Our Blue Mic group. Again, it started in mid-May, and to date, we have almost 800 people who are members of that group.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Again, we have weekly shows. Our shows are normally on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. PST. And one of the most recent comedians to join us, turns out he made us laugh hard enough that through our 2 rounds of audience elimination that we had preceding this event, to find the lineup that we have for you tonight, he survived. So with all that in mind, you better listen to what he's got to say. It illuminates the disposition of our audience members. Hi, Corey. How are you doing, baby?
Hey, Jolie.
Guys,
I'm doing good.
Can we all clap for Mr. Corey Strike, please?
Thank you, guys. Surviving physically, dying mentally a little bit more each and every day. So it's been fantastic. Yeah, life is crazy right now. Everybody where I'm living is wearing masks. Physically, though, and I wish people would start wearing masks emotionally. I'm so fucking sick and tired already of hearing about how my coworkers are being stalked and emotionally manipulated. It's like, Jesus, guys, if I cared that much, I would read the sexual assault charges the police keep hampering me with, you know? It's not something I want to spend my free time on. I know, I should not be bothering my coworkers, at least not through harassment, but I've gotten so bored lately, I've even resorted to listening to country music, David. It is a living nightmare. It is a living nightmare. But it did inspire my girlfriend to come up with a new sex position, so at least that's something. She calls it the Willie Nelson. It's not the intimate dick squeezing you guys might be imagining, though. It's just where she breaks up with me and goes on the road for sex again. So we did break up recently. There were lots of things we disagreed about. She was super into BDSM. I thought silence is violence. She disagreed. Black leather matters, guys. But I can't talk for shit with a gag in, so I don't know what the hell she wants from me. I'm pretty pumped though, because the new girl I like is a squirter. Every time I get anywhere near, she squirts pepper spray at me. Your laughter at that one just kind of hurts. The human body is amazing though. I think we need to remember, everybody, throughout all this COVID stuff, we will get through it. We will triumph. I just learned recently, actually, that the human body is capable of fully digesting a screw. Not when a priest gives it to you when you're 5. I have gotten super into religion lately. I'm trying to get my soul right with whatever comes next. Actually thought about converting to Islam, but then I learned they have to pray 5 times a day. I can't even manage to masturbate 5 times a day, so I feel like that one is straight out. Then I tried Christian church. One near me is doing a Zoom thing now, which is kind of great because I can take communion at home just by drinking wine and eating cake. Thought that was super progressive. And then they started doing like a children's worship hour during one of the calls. They sang this song that started off, "Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so." And I just couldn't help but thinking, if a book is speaking to you, take your fucking meds. It is not... Outside of an Audible membership, books should not be talking to you. And who the fuck can afford an Audible membership these days? Jeff Bezos is rich enough as it is. I think Harry Potter even covered this like 20 years ago. If a book is talking to you, it is inhabited by the soul of a dead evil wizard. And that's when I realized, Jesus Christ, Lord Voldemort, are those like basically the same person? Lots of weird similarities. They both have magical powers. They're both fictional. They were both betrayed by Jews. I mean, you can't help but look at Dumbledore and Snape and think those noses are somewhat Jewish, you know? You can check online now. J.K. Rowling has actually elucidated a lot of stuff behind the scenes for the book, and it turns out they are both circumcised. So I feel like that holds a little bit of weight. The children's song continues at this church service. "Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong." And that is the point where I spit out the blood of Christ mid-swallow. I've never heard a clearer example of grooming in my fucking life. Jesus, why are you comparing your strength to these little kids? What is going on there? I think there's some fucked up shit for sure. I don't know. Life is bleak. At this point, I'm really just hoping Wells Fargo wore blackface at some point so my student loans get canceled. Their mascot is a guy driving a carriage, and they paint it red, but I feel like with the whole Redskins turnover, there should be some kind of tit for tat coming there, regardless of who's at the helm. I do have one really close lesbian friend here in Milwaukee who I love to death. It's not really important that she's a lesbian. I just say that because she was recently in a porn, her first one ever. She is desperate for money, but to not do the desperate for money cam I suggested. Instead, she did one where she pretends to be like a girl on the street and she does all kinds of kinky things in the back of a van for money, which is basically the only semi-legitimate way to make money with a windowless van these days. Jesus Christ. Everybody's getting boomed in New York. Stay safe out there. Everybody's talking about defunding the police, but I feel like we ought to outlaw the windowless vans first, you know? Trump said he's the law and order president, but he must be talking about special victims unit because I never saw those in criminal intent. I don't know what the fuck is going on. The porno my lesbian friend in was a threesome with a guy and a girl, and it was actually the first guy she ever slept with. So bold move on her part, I think. Anyway, Dick Van Dyke, as I call her now, was telling me that she did not expect there to be so much hair on the shaft of the dude's penis. When she told me that, I just couldn't help but thinking, how hypocritical. We are a modern friendship. We have seen each other naked at various social events. And I can tell you, whatever the female version of the shaft is, she has hair on hers. She has hair on the shaft, on the rotors, on the pistons. If her vagina was a car, it would be the dog grooming van from Dumb and Dumber. I guess hers would be a pussy grooming van. I don't know. There really is nothing new under the sun, though, guys. I am getting horribly sick and tired of all these shitty remakes, though. When I was little, they had those candies that were super popular, Warheads. They were like crazy sour and made your face pucker. Every kid that I knew was getting destroyed by Warheads. Even kids in Iraq and Afghanistan were getting destroyed by Warheads when I was younger. And now we have a president who is permanently making that sour face. And we have sour beers, so everything is just kind of coming full circle. I guess at least alcohol helps us forget the war crimes, huh? Ice cream trucks were also a big thing when I was younger, for everybody. I mean, when everybody was younger, I think. But I lived on the poor side of town, so all of ours were just shitty white vans with someone holding a boombox out the window. Now again, Trump is sending Law and Order white vans after people. I do feel sorry for the white van gender, though. Dating since I moved out here to Milwaukee has been crazy hard. I did manage to bring somebody back to my apartment the other night, but she was super disappointed when it turns out that the Cloud 9 I told her I was going to take her to was just my 9-inch air mattress. Did not really work out. I think they should make celebrity prisoners a little bit more public, you know? Celebrities benefit so much from public attention when things are good. I think now, especially when things are bad, we should still be able to enjoy it. Like, wasn't that the whole premise behind reality television? And I will leave you guys with that. Thank you and have a great night.
Yes.
Any audience members want to peek out and say hello on the grid? Can you tell that I used to be a preschool teacher? An elementary school teacher. You know, I was a teacher for 10 years.
Wow.
I am not the only stand-up comedian who has obscured her last name just in case enough teachers get sick this fall. So with that in mind, I'm not going to tell you where I am. But I will let you know that if you donate some money to our comedy production company at paypal.me/Rampantly, you will learn my last name for whatever price you decide to pay. But there's my green screen. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Guys, and thank you, audience, because we're dialing it in. You know, it's very easy to have a look at Hollywood and, number one, think that it's reality, that it's the way that life does look or should look. And to look at celebrities as if they're real people who are operating with their own autonomy. And neither of those two things is remotely accurate. So we're here to tell you that Hollywood is dead and we are your new moms now. We would like to be. Very few of us will ever procreate based on the data that I've gathered from what I've heard. So if that makes you more confident in financing us, knowing that our bloodlines will die out. Yeah. Oof. Wow. Yeah. So I decided to stop being a teacher when I realized that it's just as easy and a bit more fun to get a game of Whisper Down the Lane going with a bunch of drunk adults. It's a circle time is a legit party trick. Wow, this guy, everyone see Chip Nicholson over there, or is that just me? There's Danny. Look at that comedy shirt Danny's wearing. That's our shirt from our comedy marathon we just did. I don't think people are seeing you because I'm talking. Great. So let's move it right along. And turn on your audio if you can hear me and you feel comfortable letting us hear what you sound like. We would really love to hear your laughter. Excellent. All right, coming at us next. He has been with Blue Mike since the start. He is possibly the shortest and the most Jewish comedian that we have for you tonight. We really try to hit all the demographics here. In fact, our one Chinese comedian who is from the place where the COVID is in the audience tonight. Hi, 𝑽𝑒. Woo!
Yeah.
There she is. I wasn't lying.
Get in, okay? $10 to get in. So.
I'm pretty sure the U.S. is the place where the COVID is.
We're number one.
Where the COVIDs are.
Ying got the 𝘍𝘼. She got the 𝘍𝘼 virus.
Yes,
All right.
𝘍𝘼 virus, okay?
That's her joke, not mine. All right, I'm lollygagging here. I'm lollygagging. We're just trying to get in the spirit. It's only 8:36 p.m. Usually for a Blue Mic, we don't even wake up till about 9 p.m. I've been known to actually host this mic from basically being in bed, so I'm a little out of my element now too. But let's send it over to our next comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Blue Mic welcome to our dear friend, Mr. Aaron Ring.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hey guys, so Hitler was a racist. And we know that because after he died in the bunker, they found a Confederate flag. Did I tell you guys I was married for 15 years? Yeah, it was kinky. We practiced emotional bondage. Our safe word was divorce. And we're still friends with other people. But she did the right thing. She saved herself. Because guys, I'm a serial monogamist. It's a lot like a serial killer, but way slower. And I tell you this because I got married again 2 weeks ago.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
We did it on Zoom, and it went pretty well. The bachelor party was great. That was on Pornhub. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I already lost my wedding ring. And thing is, I'm scared because since I've already had marriage, I might have the antibodies. I don't want you to think that I'm not happy. My wife is a film scholar. Her latest book is on Holocaust movies. I love her so much, I pretend the Holocaust happened. Bless you, David. Anyway, now that I'm married again, I need to get more responsible. I changed my will. I'm no longer leaving it all on red. I'm not good with money, guys. In fact, I've got a ∞ account. Just log in and rob me. Folks, to the optimist, my dick is half erect. But when it gets hard, it curves up at the end, which actually makes it less creepy than my face. Because I'm probably going to be checking out your boobs, but my dick knows your eyes are up here. I actually have very good luck with women, which is weird because I'm 5'3" and usually dripping with sweat. My secret, I think, though, is that I'm just a little better than other guys. Like, I'm toxic, but I'm not very masculine. Speaking of toxic, Ron Jeremy was charged with 4 counts of sexual assault. And it is terrible for the victims, but it's going to be a giant pain in the ass tearing down all the Ron Jeremy statues. But my school is going to have to change its name. I tell people I live in New York, but I'm weathering the pandemic in Massachusetts. The thing is, I've been here since the beginning of March, and I need to come to terms with the fact that I live here now. And that's tough because for the past 25 years, New York has been my identity, which means I'm both pretentious and boring as fuck. I'm in a town called Northampton. It's America's lesbian capital. Not coincidentally, also America's Subaru capital. True. It is so woke here, a mugger asked me for my pronoun. But things are good. I mean, I've been exercising. I'm trying to get a granddad bod. It's a lot like a dad bod, but unintentionally racist. It's definitely not as exciting as the city. It's not a whole lot to do. Like my first week here, I picked my nose right to the end. So that's over. I've been jerking off so much that my dick gave me a loyalty card. Every 10th time is free. I don't have to touch it. It just explodes. The thing I miss most about New York, though, is the people. Like I was walking in Midtown the last time I was there, and these two Hasidic guys came up to me, and one of them says, "Are you Jewish?" And I said, "No." And the other one says, "Liar." Then the first one gives me COVID-19. And I can say that because I'm anti-Semitic. No, I am a liar. My Ancestry.com came back and it turns out I'm 138% Jewish. As much as I want to go back to New York, I don't think I can. I can't go back to just one bathroom. Like if you're in a relationship and you have more than one bathroom and you're still fighting, break up because it's not going to get better. On that topic, I got a bidet recently, which I highly recommend, but there is a learning curve. Like the first time I used it, I turned it up too high, I think, and I gave myself an enema. And actually, though, it might have been the right way to use it because, guys, I have never felt cleaner inside or out. Another thing I miss is travel. The last time I traveled, I went to Iceland. While I was there, I ate puffin. And the next day, I took a puffin tour. And let me tell you, that was the right order. Because what I learned was that puffin's made for life, and I'm a monster. Joey, is that 1 minute or one more joke?
Which, either 1 minute. It was 1 minute.
I'm gonna do one more joke then. And here's the joke, guys. My year didn't start great. I had one New Year's resolution, and that was to not turn 51, and I fucking blew it. And I know 51 isn't old age. It isn't. It is puberty for old age. For the second time in my life, I've got hair growing in strange places. My voice is changing. It's getting more judgmental. And I've been having back trouble. So I got some acupuncture, which I highly recommend, but do not ask for a happy ending. And on that note, I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And thanks to Blue Mike. I love this.
Aaron.
Here comes the woo cow. Chris Lundgren's doing something over there. Shout out to you, Chris. Sounds like you're chasing a little kitten around your kitchen. That sounds like fun. I wish I was doing that. All right. Thanks so much, Aaron. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, let's move it right along here. Coming up at us next, she hosts a bi-weekly feature show out of Philadelphia called Things That Used to Scare Me. She's a long-time lover of the Blue Mic. I'm so glad that she's here. Please welcome to Blue Mic stage, Miss Christine Olivas.
Yeah. So have you guys ever seen
a man in his 40s and been like, that guy still thinks that eating pussy involves sticking the tongue in and out of the hole. I'm just saying, you can tell them, you can see those guys from a mile away. You can smell them from a mile away. So let's see. I was homeschooled until I was 14. Some of you already know that. You can imagine that quarantine's been a bit traumatic because it's very similar to homeschool. The difference is that now in quarantine, I own and use a bunch of expensive vibrators instead of the back of my mom's electric toothbrush. In case you're concerned, don't worry. She's always had tons of plaque. She didn't notice when I put it back. But yeah, why did my parents homeschool me? That's an excellent question. Their rationale, they're fundamentalist Christian. I used to say were, and then I was like, no, they still are. They are fundamentalist Christian, and my dad is a minister. So that naturally I'm a comic. But when people hear that I'm a minister's daughter, they always say something like this, like, oh, did you have a lot of anal sex instead of real sex? So you can still call yourself a virgin? Well, first of all, it's incredibly offensive to gay men. I didn't realize that P and V is now real sex. But no, that's actually not true. The truth is, in order to call myself a virgin in the eyes of the Lord, I just licked a lot of pussies. It's called God's lesbian loophole, okay? I know Chloe loves that. That's her favorite hashtag, hashtag lesbian loophole. The other night, my boyfriend was going down on me, which they still do without putting the tongue in the hole, apparently. And my boyfriend was going down on me, and then Marla came over and licked my feet. And right as I was about to orgasm, and I was on the crest, the roller coaster was already going down the hill, and I had one thought, and I was like, how the hell did I get so lucky to find a guy who would train his dog to know exactly what I want in bed? I'm just saying, I don't love foot play though. I'm more of a nipple gal, so we gotta train her to work her way up. We'll get there eventually. I have not always been so lucky though in the bedroom department. I had a very narcissistic ex-husband. He was very critical, mean about my sexual performance. One of the things he was obsessed with was deep throating. And he would literally like whine like a kid who like wants ice cream. He'd be like, Christine, why can't you just choke on it? And I'd be like, that is so fucking offensive, Justin, because you have to have a hard cock for me to do that. Because here's the thing, guys, if it's not hard, it's not deep throating, it's shallow mouthing. So yeah, what other complaints did he have? Well, he would say that I wasn't available for sex, but then when I initiate, he'd literally reject me, disappear into the bathroom or some other door, some other room where the door was locked to jerk off to anal porn. And I confronted him about it, and I'm like, look, why don't you ever include me? And he's like, I do include you. In fact, I crop a picture of your face and I put it over the women in the scenes. I'm like, what the? Don't give me a being bleached asshole without my consent. I'm proud of my dark tight anus, okay? That's how it's supposed to be in God's plan, all right? Speaking of God's plan, have you guys ever considered how similar, actually, though, porn and the Bible are? Silence, I love it. It's my favorite. The similarities between Bible and porn are that they are supposed to be inspirational stories, entertainment, but a whole lot of idiotic dudes take that shit as literal truth. What the fuck? It's ludicrous enough that my dad told me I would go to hell for, like, I don't know, stealing a belly ring set from Claire's. You know what else is ridiculous? Pointlessly finger banging me for 15 seconds and then expecting me to come. That's just how like, put down the computer and open a real vulva. You just might learn a thing or two. Truly though, growing up Christian's a horrible sex education, like horrible. When I was growing up, I was actually told that sex is when a man and a woman, obviously, man and a woman, come together under the watchful eye of God. Does that sound kinky as fuck or what? I mean, think about it. Like, it completely sounds like cuckolding, right? Like when a man and a woman come together, like God is some sort of fucking pervert. I mean, like I thought about it. Like, who made this up? Where did it all begin? Was Joseph trying to like raw dog Mary in the stable? And at first he's like killing it, like holding her up with his pinky. And then he realizes all of a sudden that God's there and he can't get it up. And God is in the corner and he's looking down. He's like, ha, no wonder you couldn't make the Lord and Savior with that humble little dick.
Wow.
The whole time Joseph is holding his sad little wiener, like, God damn it, God wins again. I love how people say wow, because you know we can talk about Hitler and we can talk about pussies, but we can't talk about God being a pervert. Well, I just last thing I want to leave you with, two things actually. Men, 2 rules for you. Don't say, I made her come. You didn't make her do anything, first of all. Making a woman orgasm requires her involvement, so do not say that. And the last thing is women, I know it's a hard time if you're single, if you want to have kids, it's not a great time. But I have a pro tip for you. Did you know that sperm can survive in a dead man's body for up to 36 hours?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, if COVID continues, we will finally have our pick of the litter. Bestiality, necrophilia, God in the middle. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. That bingo card, but let's remember to add bestiality and necrophilia to it. Or you know, maybe we won't. Our thank you, Christine. Thank you very much. Oh my God, guys, this is the blue mic. It's the blue mic. Welcome to it. We got a lot we're working through, you know. I bet you do too. I bet all you audience members have a lot you're working through. And if you want to come join us at the blue mic and tell us your opinions, you're welcome to do that. Not opinions. They're not opinions. They're just setting up hypothetical situations and whatever. This is not a comedy class. I'm not the person to do comedy.
Yeah.
I'm just a little preschool
saying-
teacher, guys. Oh my God. Wow. Look at all of our blue mic comics. Hi, guys. I'm just in
guys.
beautiful backgrounds.
Julia, just want to comment.
They're all in their little bullpens. They're pacing around. Isn't that cool? You can tell who's standing up. And you know, this was once stand up. It became sit. Became sit down. Actually, near me, I have a yoga trapeze hanging from the ceiling. And sometimes when I sit for too long, I have to go and hang upside down in it. So we should probably get moving to the next comic because I don't think you want to see me do that. If you do, though, leave a message in the chat and I'll get back to you later. All right, coming at us next. This guy, oh, he changed his background to the virtual background. Wonderful dude. He produces music and video and does a lot of really awesome stuff in the city of not Hollywood anymore, kind of Hollywood. He's kind of a product of Hollywood.
Kinda.
He's doing just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the blue mic, Mr. Sean Hart. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing, people? Did you guys know that I'm at a masked ball right now? Yeah, I'm here with Tom Cruise. It's really nice. Hey guys. What's the ass word? I'm kidding you. There's no sex orgy in here, kid. Nah, this is Hollywood. Nah, we're all abstinent. Yeah. Yeah, no one fucks in Hollywood, kid. It's a lie. Don't pay attention to anything we've ever made. Just so you know. I'm not gonna, I don't know who that is. Hey guys, listen, I wanted to give a message to any veterans we might have in the audience. I wanted to say, thank you for your service. Any soldiers, any veterans in the audience, thank you for your service. Any parking attendants in the audience, fuck yourself to hell. I was only in there doing my Postmates order for a fucking minute, and now all the money that I make on deliveries tonight go to the ticket that you just gave me. So fuck you and your theft service to the state, you goddamn Nazi. But firefighters, paramedics, first responders, hospital workers, thank you for rescuing us and bringing us back to health. But you fucking dentists can get a water pick to the dick or a vacuum nozzle to the vag if you're a lady dentist. You fucking fetishist in a lab coat. Look, I know you drugged me. I felt you in my mouth. I was asleep. And when I seen too, you told me to spit, and I did. Fuck you and your BDSM, DDS bullshit. You That's it. I'm not going to your Hollywood orgy anymore, Tom Cruise. Someone tell him for me. I don't know. Do I have agents? Do I have any agents in the audience right now who want to sign like themselves? That like, are there any executive producers? Dude, I swear to God, I've been a boom mic, a post department supervising, fucking camera op, jib operating, goddamn PA, DVDA, depending on the shoot content in Hollywood for like too many years, like 20 years now. The one thing I've never been is an executive producer because I still have no fucking money, guys. Like that's the problem. That's what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you here, guys. What am I doing? Hooker babies. You guys heard that song before? Hooker babies? You know, pretty popular song. Hookers and babies go together like politicians and 9/11. I think it's a really dark song. It's a little risque. Or at least it was when I made it up in my head a minute ago. I don't know how it is out here. Look, folks, I am not a religious person, all right? But I believe in demonic possession. Yeah, it happened to me. The other day, this Trump-supporting Facebook associate of mine, he's posting about owning the libtard cuck conspiracy with Jesus's righteous truth boner. And my eyes rolled back into my head, and I started talking in tongues. I was like, "Oh, your mother sucks cucks in hell." That came out of my mouth. And then I typed it, and I commented that on his post, ladies and gentlemen. Your mother sucks cucks in hell is on the internet, sent first to China, then sold back to America forever, for all of history, guys. For my permanent internet record, I said that to him. And then he got back, and I turned into like a liberal werewolf in the comments. I was like, I want to drain your blood till it's red like your neck. You'd appreciate that. It's blue right now. You know, I'm yelling at them when I'm yelling at you. You know, I just feel like that every time I have a fight with a terrible Trump-supporting friend from high school on Facebook, guys. That's what happens to me, just so you know. It's like the Mongolian prison scene in Batman Begins. I'm like, you're not the devil, you're just practice. Like I'm gonna take my feisty social media content straight to the top, guys. Not that the presidency's the top. It's clearly just a mask that changes from red to blue every 4 to 8 years. Just saying.
Aww.
I didn't vote for this mask. Why is he wearing me as a human shield? We might wonder in the liberal West Coast as he pits us against China. I don't want to do that, guys. I'm not interested in that at all. I'll tell you something else. I got another reason for world peace, people. Asteroids. Yeah. Asteroids, they're coming, guys. They don't share our values, all right? These guys are craggy. They are dense. They are also rocks. There could be minerals in this audience right now. We wouldn't fucking know it, would we? Yeah. Deep state rocks infiltrating us. I'm just saying. I got a solution, guys. Real simple. We hold a benefit rock concert in Boulder, Colorado. The Rolling Stones headline. And puns will save us, guys. Puns will actually rescue us from ourselves. I don't know if you are aware of that. Let's see. God, I'll tell you this, guys. No one thinks about the children anymore, except pedophiles who think about them all the time. All the time, guys. It's a good thing there's a public database of these creeps so that sex traffickers know exactly where their market is, right? And it's Florida. It's Florida. All right? Alaska has the highest density of pedophiles per capita in America, but Florida has the highest number overall. They also have a town called Refuge that is a community of recovering pedophiles who've accepted Jesus Christ as their savior and are born again. Now, I just want to say, I hope nobody takes sexual advantage of those poor born again people, because some of them were born again yesterday and might not be ready for consensual sex, right? They're impressionable. They're confused. They should wait at least 18 years after they're born again to fuck, right? I mean, they don't know what they want yet. Except to forget. Anyway, I'm just saying. What do we got? We got a light? We got a light in there? We got a thumb up oneer? Okay. I'll tell you what, kiddos, in the interest of 1 minute, if you guys give me a noun, any person, place, or thing, I will make up one-liners. Go. Give me a noun.
Cube.
Cube?
Rocks.
Okay. Cube, rocks. Give me one more.
I said socks, but okay.
Socks? What was your other one? What was the third that came up?
Smegma.
Beautiful. Cube, socks, smegma has an extra M. There we go. So does my man juice. Okay, here we go. Okay, so, cube. Okay, good. 2 cubes into a bar, and the bartender says, "Hey, we don't serve cubes here." And the cubes go, "That's okay, we're flat already." Okay, not bad. And then the second one, 2 socks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, we don't serve socks here." And the socks say, "Well, you'll never garner our praises that way." There's a wall over there. Okay, and the last is 2 smegmas into a bar. Bar says, "Hey, we don't serve smegmas," and the smegmas say cheese, and then they take selfies with them. And they're like friends, they're like palling around together. It's like a buddy comedy. Whatever. I've been Sean Hart. Thank you so much. You guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Mr. Sean Hart. He's an improviser, folks. He does it all. He lives in Hollywood. You got to do it all. All right. I was hearing some audience members laughing on that. I was hearing some laughter I didn't hear during the last comics.
Ghosts. They're all
right.
ghosts,
I mean,
Jolie.
the audience are slowly emerging from their shells.
They still hate this old ghost town.
This is a great time for all those audience members. Joshua, Marla, Quinn, Sean, Stu, Susan, Wendy. They're like, please don't say my name on the tape. One of them knew what was up. They came in with the name Hootie Who. Hey, Hootie Who. What's up? What's shaking, Hootie Who? You're our kind of people. Yep. That's one of those ways that virtual comedy is a little bit different. You know, you can walk into a dark bar and stand in the back and no one knows who you are. And
Right.
Just love on it however you want. And I think that there's really not much you can do to harm us here. So if you would like to change your name to a pseudonym, this is another little audience hack.
Yeah, okay.
Since we're all learning how to use Zoom, if you're an audience member, if you take your cursor right over there to the participants list in your browser and you go over your name, you press more, you can actually rename yourself. So we're going to send it on over to our next comic. And 7 minutes from now, let's see what the audience member has chosen as their new Blue Mike Nom de Plumes. All right, coming at us next, she's yet another Philly comedian. She hosts a weekly feature show called bi-weekly feature show called Pandemic Pleasantries. You should check it out. It's really fun. She knows how to find great talent. Please welcome, big ol' welcome to the Blue Mike stage, Miss Hetty Sandberg.
Sorry, I can't do the background. I'm not tech savvy, and I was trying to, and then it made my face all Blue Mikey, and I was like, that's kind of cool, but I won Best Smile in high school, so you guys should see this. It's my claim to fame, and this is my apartment the government has been paying for the last 4 months. So it's been great. Thank you. I'm unemployed. Guys, I'm so excited to be here. I have 5 nieces and nephews, and they're whatever. But I was taking a walk with my sister last week, and she's a 7-month-old. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with babies at all, but I'll just tell you right now that there's no point to them. Like I don't get the hype ever. Like they're just kind of there. Like I know, like if you can have a baby if you just want to be bored all the time and have no money. That's what babies are for. Okay, if that's your lifestyle, fucking go for it. So I was looking at my niece and I was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting the hype over you because she's not lively. She's not exciting. Like the whole time she's just lying there on her back. And then I thought about it more and I was like, oh, wait a second. That is actually just like me during sex. So clearly very taken after her auntie Hetty. And she's actually my favorite for sure. So I'm going to tell her that. I want her to come to me all the time. She's great. No, I know how to ride dick actually. Well, there's only a few ladies showing their faces. Ladies, you ever ride dick so hard your boobs get whiplash? Jolie, yeah, that's right. Okay, if you do that, you need to stop that immediately, okay? He doesn't deserve any of that. He's just happy to literally be in you. That's enough. You just sit there and you like chill out and like bounce a little. That's fine. The end result is the same. There's no extra credit for doing more work, okay? Just relax. If your man's like, oh, baby, put on a show for me, fucking put on Netflix. You put on the Great British Baking Show and you will both come back. Okay, do that. That's my advice. Actually, I guess I'm sort of seeing someone right now. I've been seeing my former college fuck buddy, which is interesting. It's been going well though. It's actually kind of fun. And I think I like us together now just because, you know, we're more mature. We're both like much
Where's your mask?
Because we used to just be like a couple of 20-year-olds having mediocre sex in a twin bed. But now we are a couple of 30-year-olds having mediocre sex in a queen bed. So things are going really well. Plus, he likes me on my back. So we're actually going to get married. I am going to keep that one for forever. I'm excited about that. Guys, I got a cat during this time because I was sad and lonely. What's up, my sad and lonely people? You guys all felt that shit. So hell yeah, I did. Yeah, he's like a coping COVID mechanism kitty, so that's why I have him. His name is Morpheus Eagle. I'm just gonna pause for effect. If you guys like, damn Hetty, that's the literal best name I've ever heard. Will you please write a book of children's names? How crazy! I'm doing that actually. Here's a little sneak. Ready? Lucifer Titanium. I know, such a good one. If it's a girl, Lilith Titanium. Ooh, that is such a good name. Here's some Jewish mysticism for you. Shabbat Shalom. What's up? Lilith was actually Adam's first wife, but she was like a little too ahead of her time. She was all like, fuck you, Adam. I will not wash your loincloth. And God was like, oh, we can't have this. So he got rid of her and he made Eve and she was like, oh, I'll do it. So fuck her. She set us back a couple hundred years or so. So don't name your daughters Eve, name them Lilith. Or name your cats Lilith. That's an even better name. Do that. Do that. Give the cats the greatest names ever. I feel like having a cat, I'm obviously a mommy, very qualified to say that for sure. Like I get why my sister is like mad and irritated and tired. I'm like, girl, I am fucking with you. I get it. And oh my God, I get the lack of privacy. Oh my God, there's no more privacy. Like I'll be in the bathroom doing my thing. Morpheus Eagle comes in. He's all like, are you gonna bury that? I'm like, guess I'm gonna fucking bury it. Like the litter box is big enough for the both of us, you know? We save water in this house. Also, I was in bed using my vibrator the other day, and he jumped up on my bed, looked at me, looked at the vibrator, looked at me, and like, I'm not gonna lie, he was like a little judgy, okay? And then I was like, oh, all right, listen, mommy is not flexible like you. If she could lick her own pussy, she fucking would. But sometimes mommy needs help. So I did not come that night because I felt just a little, judged. And I was like, well, we're working on setting some boundaries, though. That's what we're doing. As a mommy, I feel like a failure sometimes. I felt that like when I first got him, because he actually just wasn't latching onto my breast. And I was like, what? Because I was under the impression breastfeeding is the most natural, most beautiful thing in the world, and it wasn't working for us. I have us a lactation consultant now, and he's back to a healthy weight, thank God. Also, as a mom, you feel kind of shitty about yourself sometimes. Just because for me, I don't even know who his real father is. Like, and that's going to be awkward when he's older. So I'm just not teaching him English. We're just kissing noises. That's how we communicate. Lastly, I'm like a cool mom. Okay, fucking hoop earrings. That's right, bitch. I'm a cool ass mom. And like, I don't really smoke weed, but I have started smoking catnip with him just because I feel like we should bond a little bit, And I'm going to let you guys know that is some good ass shit, okay? Like, I cannot stop rubbing my face all over the floor and on every corner I see. It is so good. So I have a subscription to Petco. If you guys need a little some, just hit me up in the chat and we can work something out. So, guys, my name's Hetty. Julie, thank you so much for putting this together. I much appreciate it.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm hearing some woo, and it's a woo cam.
Woo!
All right, Hetty just wooed herself, guys.
I'm my biggest
Sexy.
fan.
Sexy. I'm a cat mama too, y'all. Cat mama too. I don't know what I would do without my little baby. I am so glad that when he was a child, we were living in Los Angeles together because he was just the absolute perfect buffer to me to kind of protect myself from the pretension of other mothers at the playground. While still, we had a lot of fun, but it was like, I don't need to tell you about Los Angeles. You don't want to know about it, guys. You've probably been there and seen it for yourself and never want to go back, especially now. But any Hoosiers, the moms would be sitting around talking about like the milestones of their children at the playground, so I would let my cat off the leash. He is on a leash, and we would go and climb palm trees together. And well, we wouldn't climb the palm trees together. He would climb the palm trees. And I would kind of yank him off the palm trees. But the moms would be together like, talking about my 3-year-old son and like his milestones, and oh my gosh, like he drew a circle and like the two ends connected today. Wow, what a Da Vinci. And I'd be like, well, all right. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but like, and it never really dawned on me until that point in time that I hate to say this, but it is so true. Like a 3-month-old cat is so much more badass than a 3-month-old human. It's like, what happened in nature that's the case? 3-month-old babies are useless, and I think they actually have to be like that because if they aren't useless, we used to murder them and eat them. Like times used to be really tough, and I'm not making this up. Like if you look at the reason babies have big eyes is like because it's like them saying, no, don't do that to me. But yeah, so I was just talking to the moms like, hey, you think you think your son's cool? My 3-month-old walks on a fence. Can your 3-month-old walk along the top of a fence? It's a good baby. It's a good boy. And then like for our idea of like a mommy son date is going and fighting raccoons behind the dumpsters. 3 months. What a guy, huh? I trained him right. Yep. All right. Any Hoosier. Let's move on. I see that no one has changed their name to be anything funnier or different from what they already had. That's okay. You guys, I hate to remind you, but you guys did pay us to be here. We got you. We ensnared you. Oh, but it's only going to get better coming at us next. He is out of Queens, New York. He's he's a New York City comedian. He likes to eat cookies in the middle of the night. And throughout this whole pandemic, he's been taking more than 20-mile-long bike rides around New York City. Wow. Imagine the perspective on society that this guy's bringing to the Blue Mike stage. Guys, please welcome our dear friend, Mr. Ralph Anthony.
Hey, all right. Thank you.
There's the woos, guys.
Thank you. No, listen, don't whoa. That's fine. I get it. Thank you, Josh Sears. You are an enthusiastic clapper. Thank you. Thank you for showing me some love from your conspiracy headquarters basement room of your parents' house. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love all this. Only the comics have their faces shown. Everybody else is fucking hiding. I love this. Nobody wants to show their face. It's cool. Steve Greenberg, Courtney, Marla, Truini, if that's even your name, I believe. Although nobody has their fucking face showing. Ying, that sounds like a very, covert name. Thank you, Marla. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. I like this. See, that's the thing. We talk into these computer cameras every goddamn week. We have no idea who's watching us. You could be jerking off to porn while I'm slinging these fucking jokes, and I'll have no idea. All I hear is
No, that's
like,
not
wow,
happening.
these are some really good sound effects. Jesus, thank you. I didn't know a microphone could do that. This is great. I love this. Hell yeah. All right, good. Calling all you fuckers out. Beautiful. I like this. As Jolie said, listen, I am from New York City. I am born and raised here, and I have been here throughout the entire pandemic. It has been such a shit show. I've lived alone for the entire thing. It is just absolutely insane. Living through this pandemic alone in New York City feels like I've been in an escape room with 9 million people, and I just can't wait to get out. Like, I'm somebody, please break me free. This is just too much. This is just too much. And like, listen, we're 4 months into this. We are 4 months in, and everybody is still talking about masks. Like, how is this still a fucking topic of conversation? How are we still freaked out about these masks? Like, no. The best part was when everything first hit. Like, when COVID first hit, they were like, listen, you can't go outside. If you go outside, you need a mask. You need an N95 mask. 2 weeks later, they said, hey, listen, guess what, Pop? You got no mask. You got no mask. We have no mask here. We have none in China. We have none in Mexico. Even Jeff Bezos and Amazon, they got no mask. But I'll tell you what, we got you covered. We got you covered, pal. I want you to open up your closet door. Go grab that T-shirt. Yeah, that old ratty T-shirt that you wear when you don't feel good. I want you to grab that T-shirt, grab a pair of scissors. That's right. You heard me correctly. Grab a pair of scissors. You're going to cut those sleeves right off. Yeah, that sleeve is your new mask. Yeah, you did hear us correctly. That sleeve is your new life-saving device. That's it. You got it right. But we'll go one step further. You go to your craft store. I want you to get some rhinestones, get some bedazzles, maybe get some stickers. Really give it some flair. Show it off your personality. Because this is your new life-saving device. Like, in what warped world do we live in where saving your life is now a DIY project? Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? It's too much. It's too much. I can't take it, man. I can't fucking take this shit. It's just too much. It's out of control. Out of control. And I know some of you are looking at me wondering, like, wow, did this guy do an 8-ball before he got on stage? My little fake stage right here. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Thank you very much. I'm actually sober. I should probably tell you guys that way ahead of all of this. I'm sober, but I'm comedian sober. Okay, comedian sober, very different than sober. Like, comedian sober, like, listen, I still smoke weed and drink. I just don't do coke anymore. So that's how that goes. Yeah, that's how that goes. And it's not my fault, man. It's not my fault. Listen, I grew up in a very pro-weed household, man. When I was 16 years old, my father told me, he said, Ralph, I'd rather see you with a joint in your hand than a beer. I was like, what, officer? Excuse what? But see, what I didn't realize, though, was when I was 16, my dad was 46, and 46-year-old men just don't know where to buy weed. Listen, it just blows my mind. Like, here we are, it's 2020, and there are still people against smoking weed, still against pot. Like, they say that weed is a gateway drug, that smoking weed leads to harder drugs. What? Like, that's fucking nonsense, man. Listen, saying that smoking weed leads to harder drugs is like saying making out leads to anal. Listen. Listen, if anything, smoking weed leads to diabetes, right? Right? Who gets high and wants to get healthy food? You know, listen, I'm not smoking a joint and then going and doing laps around the salad bar at Whole Foods. Fuck no. No, I'm going to my bodega to see if I can stuff a Twix and a Twinkie and then roll it in jelly beans. That's what I want, man. That's what I want. You know? To be honest with you, Liz, I didn't even drink that much before quarantine hit. Like, my tolerance is actually worse now than before lockdown even started. Before it even started, you know? Before it even started, because I was such a fucking booze bag, man. I was such a booze bag. Are you kidding me? I used to get Jameson neat and then wash it down with a Coke. Not Coca-Cola, cocaine, because it's better when it's the real thing. Better when it's the real thing. See, listen, if you drink and you do blow, cocaine is actually a performance-enhancing drug. Like, you will drink forever, but you won't remember anything. And that was my problem. I used to black out all the time. All the time. You guys ever black out? Anyone? Circle? Yeah. Of course you're not. That's why all your screens are blacked out. You don't want to admit it. It's cool. If you're not familiar with blacking out, it's when you are at the bar drinking with your friends and you pay your tab, get pizza, and then go home. In your mind. In your mind. In reality, you are still at the bar buying drinks. In fact, you might buy drinks for everyone at the bar. See, like, that's the thing. When I blacked out, the last time I blacked out, it was wild, man. It was so wild. I woke up in the nicest hotel room I had ever seen. Nicest hotel room I'd ever seen. Like, the sheets were the comfiest ones I'd ever slept in. And they even had this funky little alarm clock right next to the bed. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard of this hotel. It's called St. Luke's Hospital. Yeah, woke up at St. Luke's Hospital. Yeah, I woke up. I was at a going away party. Okay, I was at a going away party. Corporate America, going away party, open bar, no food. They were like, listen, we're not going to feed you. We're just going to fill you up with booze and Coke. Like, that's it. That's all you got. That's all we got. That's that's in our budget. That's all we got for you. You know? That was it. That's what happened. And then I go from ordering shots to waking up to 4 Jamaican women staring at me. Okay? 4 Jamaican women staring at me. And let me tell you, they were not happy. They were not happy with me at all. And I looked, and the first thing I thought of was like, wow, this is not how I expected this fantasy to start. My second thought, wow, this is the worst Sean Paul music video I've ever seen. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Woo! Yeah!
Eh? What? Huh?
What? We can't hear you.
¿Por qué?
Your mic's off. Turn your freaking mic on.
Jolie, we can't hear you.
Nope.
Oh God, guest host, step in and save it.
Let's go to the chat. Let's see if there's any. Is the line up in the chat?
Yeah.
How many blue balls does it take to screw in a microphone, guys? 2. We can do about the second one.
You're next.
I'm next? Okay. Hey, guys. Everybody, welcome to the stage. The very funny, all the way out from Los Angeles, Mr. Chip Nicholson.
Yeah. Nicholson.
Woo! Hey guys, what's up? Anyone? I'm just gonna go through a couple ideas that I have. I've been watching. Anyone else see Ying doing calisthenics in the back over there? Anybody see this shit? Everybody see Ying? Ready for my steps. Like you're reliving your golden years from like a Billy Blanks morning video.
No.
That's friggin' awesome. Man, everybody here knows about Jesus and God and everything. We have friggin' someone who's a preacher's daughter. Honestly, I've been saying it. I miss church. I miss going to church, but not. I'm a people watcher. I like people watching the pastors, right? Because there's times when the pastors go in too hard, right? I always love watching when the pastors go in too hard. I remember last time I was at church, he was doing just that. He was talking about heaven and hell, life and death. And all of a sudden, this little girl right next to me starts crying. She was just, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's up? And she was like, my dog died and he didn't know Jesus. So he's going to hell. And I was like, oh, no. And I wanted to help. And I was like, oh, no, don't you know? All dogs go to heaven. And she was like, really? And that's when the pastor said, because everybody goes to heaven, but not everybody gets in. And she was like, I've noticed this weird thing about my people, Black people. We do one thing in two different situations. One thing in two different situations. When we hear a good joke or we see a good magic trick, we run.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google David Blaine Compton, his palms open up, doves fly out, and Black people are like, oh shit, and like, get the fuck. I get the Apollo every time. And there's a math to that. You can tell how good a magic trick or joke is by how long it takes that Black dude to get back. And where you wish. Now, maybe I'm being a little optimistic, but I don't think my dad was a deadbeat dad. I think he heard a really good joke one time. I mean, if the KKK and my dad had one thing in common, they left the nigga hanging. Whoa!
No.
I don't believe in black ghosts. Anybody else? Right? Never heard or seen of a haunting? And then I realized, you know why you can't see black ghosts? Because black ghosts ain't got shit to haunt. Think about it, right? Like every decade they come back is better than when they left. They're like, ooh, business finished, and they fade away to heaven. I said that at a show in Tennessee one time. You know why you don't see black ghosts? White lady stands up. Because they're too dark. You can't see them. I'm like, God damn it, no. You think we die and become shadows and shit? Ghosts? We asked you. No, I'm just kidding. Corey, my bad. I have a tough time sometimes because I grew up in San Diego, California till I was 12. And then at 12, I moved to Birmingham, Alabama, right? Yeah, I wasn't ready either. It was crazy. But like the thing is like black people, like when I say I'm from Alabama, because I claim it, I was 12 to 18, man. That's 4 more years. So I claim Alabama. But when I say I'm from Alabama, black people don't believe. People like get mad at me. I was talking to this one dude, he got mad at me. He was like, see, no, he was from Alabama. He was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, niggas nowadays is too soft. I wish you'd go back to how it used to be. when Nat King Cole killed all the slave drivers. I was like, what? When Nat King Cole killed all the slave? What album was that? Unforgettable, nigga, you lost. Being in lockdown, I'm seeing it's weird being in lockdown, but because like we just personally, I just have been like focusing way too much on myself, right? Just too many little shit, right? I'm not like the mask is gone, right? The mask we put on to go out there, we've put it up on the fucking wall, and we're like, why did I even wear that in the first place, right? I'm like that right now. The mask's on. I learned this about myself. Hate the N-word. Hard R. Hard R. Everybody does, right? Everybody hates the N-word hard R. Well, actually, I lived in Alabama for a while. There are a couple people who love N-word with hard R. I'm not gonna lie, they love that. But for the most part, most people hate hard R. Now, there's rules, right? So N-word with the A, okay, right? Like Aaron, I mean, I don't know you, but if we become boys and shit, you know what I'm saying? I might give you a pass, right? N-word with the A, okay, right? So N-word with the hard R, bang. N-word with the A, okay. Now let me submit this to you. N-word with a rolled R. Oh my God. Oh. It's so sexy, right? Like ER is like, round at me. It's too much. I don't like that. It's like you're purring at me. You can purr nigga at me. I'm fine with that. You can purr nigga at me. That's fine. Like, I'd be fun if a whole bunch of like senorita KKKs came at me and were like, get out here, you I'd be like, oh, where's the rope? I'll tie myself. I think I saw the 1 minute light. Did I? Yeah, did I see the light? Yes, you did. Yeah? All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. That is my time.
Wants to woo. I noticed there were some audience members who came online during Chip's set and actually showed their video for a minute to be supportive to him.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Chip. That was awesome. We're so happy to have you. So happy.
Thank you. I love you.
Awesome. Oh man, this momentum is great. I love it. It's 9:30. We're gonna just keep on moving. Coming up next, you know what? I'm not gonna ruin the surprise for you. How about that? Oh, have I got a surprise for you? You're gonna love it when you hear this surprise. It's David Parsons.
Hey. Well, good evening. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the Big Blue Ball. The biggest blue ball since Papa Smurf had that cyst he had to have removed. Well, you know, you probably picked up already that I'm pretty tall. I mean, you've seen my little friend here. You know, I'm from England, and every Englishman likes to have a leprechaun in his life, and so you know it's no surprise that we're friends. I found it at the end of the rainbow, right?
No.
Oh, so you know the first thing that people always notice about me is that I'm tall before I open my mouth. Okay, yes, I'm fat also. But I prefer to focus on the metric that doesn't cause diabetes, heart disease, general social disapproval, crushed lawn chairs, scared looks when I head to the buffet line, desperation when I head to the middle seat on an airplane, or questions from small children about whether I have a baby in my tummy. And I'm a married man now, and I'm very happily married, and I'm so glad I don't have to date. I mean, dating in modern life absolutely freaking sucks. And the last time I was on a business trip before the coronavirus shut everything down, I actually saw a date ended by a single bad joke. I was sitting having a little quiet dinner, and on the table next to me were a man and a woman out on what was obviously their first date. And the tables are so close together, I couldn't help but hear some of the conversation. And the waiter brought out some bread with some homemade butter and marmalade and jam. And the girl says, "Do you know what the difference between jam and marmalade is?" And the guy said, "No." And the girl says, "Well, if this date goes well, you can't marmalade your dick up my ass." The dude went as white as a sheet, and the date went downhill from there. So I'm tall, and my wife is an average-sized woman. She's 5'5", which is kind of a height differential. But the shortest person I have ever dated back in my 20s was 4'9". I don't want to use the word spinner, but she was, shall we say, very, very youthful looking. She was 25 years old and was always getting carded for lottery tickets and alcohol and such. And you know, we were she was great. It was awesome. But we had to break up in the end. It wasn't that we were incompatible in bed. It was there was one too many Amber Alerts when we're out on dates. Okay, so you know, I want to talk a moment about penises. I don't think we've had enough penis talk yet on this mic. And you know, it's just I have never understood why men send pictures of their penis to women they're trying to attract. Okay? Let's leave aside the fact for the moment that it's very fucking rude. Is this the best side men can present? You know, vaginas have at least a pleasing symmetry. But penises, it's just like that sad, tired, 3-day-old convenience store taquito look. In fact, I would go so far as to say that the male genitals are the best evidence we have that there isn't a God that intelligently designed the species. It's the duck-billed platypus of genitalia. I think that God must have been either tired or having a bad day when he designed the penis. Oh, crap. I hate my job. I spent all morning designing these animals and now I have to finish man off. I'm so fucking tired. I'll just copy that leftover hot dog from lunch. Or perhaps it's some colossal cosmic joke. I know. I'll give man something he's very, very proud of, but looks ridiculous. It'll be so funny to see him send pictures of something that looks like the last chicken in the shop. Or perhaps it was take your kid to work day and he let his boy have a go. Okay, Jesus, you can have a go at finishing off man. Here's a butcher paper and some crayons. You go draw it, and then we'll get the Play-Doh out. In any event, it's now illegal in Texas where I live to send unsolicited dick pics to women, or men, I guess. It's only a Class C misdemeanor, so you won't do hard time. But a stiff fine will probably still deter those who are inclined to tweet your meat. Anyway, it's against the law. It doesn't look good, and it makes you look like a dick. Literally as well as figuratively. So, gentlemen, leave it in your pants. You've probably by now picked upon the merest trace of an accent. As I said, I'm not from around Dallas. I was born in England and moved to Texas 20 years ago. Now, while both of my countries speak English, vaguely, words in America sometimes have different meanings, and this can cause serious confusion. In America, fanny is slang for buttocks. In England, a fanny is a vagina. You can imagine my confusion when an American friend said, "Gee, I went on a long bike ride yesterday, and my fanny's still sore." How the hell were you sitting on the saddle, lady? Does my fanny look big in these pants? Well, there's a little nope, you look great, honey. I know parenting is different these days, but when I misbehaved as a little girl, my daddy would spank my fanny hard. Staying on the subject of genitals, to the English, beavers aren't remotely sexual. In fact, the youngest Girl Scouts are called Beaver Scouts and are led by a gray beaver. Please, sir, would you like to buy some beaver cookies? I'm having so much fun playing with my beaver friends. I'm working real hard on getting my Beaver Explorer badge. In England, rubbers are used to erase pencil marks. Not here, which explains the look of confusion I got when, before a test in college, I told an American classmate that I didn't have a rubber and asked if she had a spare I might borrow. What? I said. I'm just trying to prevent myself from making a mistake I'll pay for later. Well, I didn't get a rubber, and she sat as far away from me as she could. And as I feared, the need arose, and I just had to rub one out as best as I could. My favorite English dessert has a very strange name. To an Englishman, a spotted dick is a delicious raisin cake. To an American, a spotted dick is an excellent reason to see your physician immediately. In either event, it's better if you put some cream on it. And my favorite part of any family gathering is chowing down on my Uncle John's spotted dick. And this one's the absolute worst. The American use of the word spunk makes me positively queasy. In America, spunk is courage and determination. In England, spunk is slang for semen. I have a friend who describes her 14-year-old daughter as full of spunk. Oh, God, I hope not. Well, boys, I know you lost the championship game, but I've never seen so much spunk on a basketball court. I'm doing really well at Girl Scouts. My troop leader says I'm the spunkiest beaver she's ever seen. She's seen a lot of beavers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You have been a fantastic audience, and I've been David Parsons. Cheers!
Give it up for David Parsons. Thanks, David. Hey, let's keep that momentum going. We're just, hey, oh my gosh, it was David Parsons' screen, but look at his tag team mate. Here she is. Comedian number 2 is joining us from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome Miss Charlotte Parker.
Woo! Love you guys. You know, David mentioned the Beaver Explorer badge. I'm actually familiar with that one. I actually got that after I came out of the closet at my all-girls high school. Pretty quickly, actually. Hi, Marla. One of my high school teachers is here in the audience. I almost had to wear my glasses for this show. I usually wear my contacts when I perform, but I almost had to wear my glasses because I accidentally got moisturizer in my eye, which was painful. It's not the first time that my night's been derailed from getting white stuff in my eye, but this time I did it to myself. No one even got any enjoyment out of it whatsoever. This is very new for me doing blue material. I don't usually do a lot of blue material. I work with kids at a children's theater, and I think it's because I have this sort of unofficial rule that if my students were to accidentally hear my stand-up, I would want it to not scar them for life. Like, Miss Charlotte must be a really lazy cook. She keeps talking about other people tossing her salad for her. I don't understand. Like, wow, Miss Charlotte really prefers tacos to eggplants. I don't know why she keeps bringing that up, though. That's weird. Or, well, Miss Charlotte says she enjoys being choked. I have questions. TMI. Okay, I'm the token Jew at work. It's well. People tend to a little bit about me. Based on my appearance, people usually assume that I'm Irish, Catholic, and straight when I'm actually Jewish, queer, and depressed. which in the comedy world is known as being a triple threat. So for me, that's an advantage. I just realized the webcam is up here because David's so tall. Okay, hi. I feel like I've done his computer screen this whole time. He's like two of me put together. Oh my god, we're like two parts of like a very different Russian nesting doll. Yeah, no, I am in fact a ginger Jew, which scientists have classified as critically endangered. So yeah, if you know any other ginger Jews who want to keep the species alive, tell them to hit up my DMs. But as I said, I am the token Jew at work, and it has its ups and downs. Sometimes I notice things that other people don't. Like recently, because I work at a theater, we rented out some of our space to a really sweet family for their son's bar mitzvah. And the bar mitzvah was scheduled during the opening night performance of Sound of Music Junior. And if you're not familiar with Sound of Music, Act 2 features a lot of, how do I put it correctly, Nazis. In this case, tiny kids dressed as Nazis, which is adorable, but still problematic. So while this kid is up on stage reading his Torah portion, making his family proud, they could gaze out the open doorway and see all these little Nazi nuggets trotting by to chase the Von Trapp family up the hills. Yeah, real troubling. I also got to direct a Diary of Anne Frank last year. I got a call from the managing director of the theater asking if I wanted to direct it, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to. He goes, cool. It's not just because you're the only Jew on staff. Sue us. But I was very happy to direct it. It was awesome. I was going around promoting it to parents so that I could get enough kids to sign up an audition. And I told this one parent, and she goes, oh, Diary of Anne Frank, huh? Is that a play or a musical? It took me a moment to realize she was serious, so I was troubled by that. But then another parent asked me that same question the following day. So now I'm writing Anne Frank the musical. Why not? It's going to be all Beatles songs because I didn't feel like writing my own. Some of them you don't even need to change, like Hey Jude, Help. There's a few others. I don't have my guitar, so I'll just sing them a cappella. Let's You've got to hide your yarmulke away. That's one. And don't let me downstairs. Here comes the son of a Nazi. That'll probably be a closing number. A great show with very quiet dance numbers. So I recently deleted Tinder. I know, hold your applause. I'm very brave. It's hard being a woman trying to meet other women on Tinder. A lot of them are obsessed with zodiac signs. I found a lot of these women on Tinder. I saw this one profile that was just one sentence. It was, I'm a Capricorn. That should tell you everything you need to know about me. I was like, yep. And then I swiped left. Like, I'm good. There's also a lot of straight women who come across my feed who only have checked the men and women boxes because they're new in town and they're just looking for friends. On Tinder. Just not what that app is for. I mean, going on Tinder and saying, I'm just here for friends is like walking into a vegan restaurant and going, I'm just here for steak. It's not going to happen and you're just going to upset a lot of lesbians. So what are you doing? But I have had a lot more success with this other dating app called Amazon. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried it. It's I met a professional back massager who had really high ratings. So that was what caught my eye. What caught her eye was that my credit card works, not to brag. She's got a really vibrant personality, which I like a lot, but she's an introvert like me. I mean, most of the time she just likes to stay home and recharge her batteries. Then other times she's got like a lot more energy, like a lot, which is great. And okay, I'll admit, she can be a bit intense sometimes depending on how much I've been pushing her buttons, but you know, it's a good relationship because we communicate really well. I mean, she never sends me cryptic text messages. She never gives me the cold shoulder. She never has to ask if I came, which is refreshing, frankly. So anyway, I work with little kids, as I mentioned earlier, and I teach a lot of our acting classes to 5 to 7-year-olds, which is super fun. If you've ever met a kid that age, you know they have no filter whatsoever. we were going over the rules once at the beginning of class, and I get to rule number 3, keep your hands and feet to yourself. So I turn to the kids, I say, what does that mean? And immediately this 5-year-old girl raises her hand and she goes, no kicking people in the vagina. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I was going to go with no kicking, like in general, but also that, also don't do that. And then I realized she actually had a good point. So I've added vaginal addendums or vagendums to all our rules in class. I think this is very important. No shouting in the vagina. No chewing gum in the vagina, because that's gross. If you have a snack in the vagina, though, make sure you do clean up all your crumbs. Cough or sneeze in your elbow, not your vagina. I think it's important to know that. If you have something to say, raise your hand in the vagina, but start with 1 or 2 fingers. And last but not least, sharing the vagina is caring. I'll end on this. One of my students came up to me at the beginning of a class, poked me in the stomach, and said, "Is that a baby?" And my first thought was, no, it's a 26-year-old with feelings. This is a teachable moment. I should talk to her. So I took a deep breath, knelt down so I was on her level, and I said, listen, bitch. This actually was a baby, but you just poked a hole right through it. So not anymore. Thanks, dude. No, don't cry. You saved me a trip to the pharmacy. It's okay. Always end up with an abortion joke, as they say. On that note, my name is Charlotte Parker. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much, Charlotte.
Charlotte! Woo!
Yeet, yeet. Hey, our show is kind of coming to a close, but it's going to be a good one. We've got 2 more comics left. It's 9:51, so we're going to end just a little bit after 10. Again, thanks for coming. Second to last. She, again, is a wonderful comedian out of the city of Philadelphia. She has a cat that has 3 times as many Instagram followers as me. I've been studying his ways, seeing if I can pick up anything that might be useful to me. She hosted our Comedians with Cats segment of our Comedy 24-hour comedy marathon that you can check out on the Rampantly Facebook page. We've got 24 hours of live streaming comedy. If you thought this was fun and you want to see more people who did this in the past, you can check that out. Please give it up for our dear friend. Oh, and she's even wearing her blue ball gown. She's such a teacher's pet. It's Danny Rydell. Where is she? There she is. Woo!
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Listen, as you go forward into the coming fall season, please remember one thing. Fantasy football is Dungeons and Dragons for jocks. Quarantine has been a particular bummer for me. Haven't gotten to wear my Star Trek uniform in a very long time, except for like sex reasons. And also I'm an alcoholic, so I don't drink, which sucks because drinking is awesome. I don't like the term recovering alcoholic. I prefer the more flattering term, inactive lush. I had to quit drinking about a year ago when I woke up one morning and had a fight with my liver. I woke up and made myself my usual morning beverage, a Kentucky coffee. If you don't know, Kentucky coffee, by the way, recipe is a bottle of Maker's Mark with a bendy straw in it. And went to take a sip, and my liver was just like, bitch, not today. What do you mean got today? My liver's like, I got other shit to do. I'm like, you have a day job? You have a day job? My liver's like, yeah, I have a wife and kidneys to support. I do not have all day to metabolize your breakfast whiskey. Seriously though, like, I drank so much, I really put my liver through a lot, and it took it all like a fucking champ. I seriously actually think that my liver is the reincarnation of the liver of either Winston Churchill or Hunter S. Thompson. I really do miss vodka, though.
vodka is, okay, vodka is the best because vodka gets straight to the point, no extra sugar, it does not fuck around, it just does its job. Vodka is the vibrator of beverages. You know what though, I don't go to meetings, well, the only AA I need is a battery. I don't go to AA meetings because I can't compete. If you've never been to an AA meeting, basically it's a group of people sitting around in a circle, all taking turns, trying to one-up each other by telling like the most wild and crazy stories about the shit they've done while they were drunk. And some of their tales are just like wild, and I can't compete. Like, okay, it's a giant drinking game, no fucking alcohol. And all I've got is a story that ends with, not my fault, he said he was 18.
Oh, gosh.
It was a great night. You know, stuff like that doesn't seem to happen anymore since I've been sober. It's been a long time since I've banged a high school student accidentally. But I think that has less to do with being sober and more to do with being married. My husband has been great throughout all of this. He's so supportive. I don't know what I would do without him there checking everyone's ID for me. I have sex with my husband sometimes. It just feels so dirty knowing I'm cheating on alcohol and bad decisions. But being unable to day drink during quarantine, as everyone else has now discovered the joys of day drinking. When I did it, it was a problem. But I've had to fill my time in other ways. For example, rewatching old movies from my childhood with a borrowed Disney Plus password. Had to be a borrowed Disney Plus password. I will not give Disney any money because I am 100% certain that Disney is responsible for all of the body image issues I had growing up. Like, seriously, come on. To have the waistline of a Disney princess, you have to simply give up food entirely. And that is But perhaps we should not judge. I mean, come on. Like, when are we going to stop calling eating disorders disorders and just call them diets that work? So I rewatched, you know, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, and it's fascinating to me how differently my adult brain processes these films from my child brain. Like, my child brain watches these movies and is you know, optimistic and hopeful, and my adult brain is just wondering which princess is going to have which PTSD symptom when she's in her 30s. Except Ariel. I think Ariel had the least traumatic childhood of all of them. She totally had her own set of issues, though. She was definitely a hoarder, and I think that problem actually got worse after the movie when she moved into a castle and became human. Because think about this. Okay, the Little Mermaid gets legs, right? She turns human, which means she's also got a clit now. And like, well, no. I think she always did. It was probably just like, you know, but she gets human legs. She gets all the fun stuff in between them to play with. So there is a room in Prince Eric's castle where she is just hoarding vibrators. And so, isn't it neat? Eric thinks this one massages my feet. Dildos aplenty. I've got bullets and rockets galore. Top you want? I've got 20. Once in a way, come over to talk about Armani issues and drink rosé. So, listen, ladies, humans in general, we gotta stick together. And I'm gonna leave on a serious note for real. I think that we all need to do our part. There's a lot of suffering in the world right now. In particular, there's a small subset of women, immigrant women, in the United States who are suffering. I'd just like to ask I would like to ask you all to help me and do your part by please sending Melania Trump the vibrator. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. All right, this is it. She's the last one we've got, folks. Keep the energy roiling. Next, she hosts the Pandemic, which is one of the first. I mean, I think we can all agree it was one of the first virtual open mics to emerge during the pandemic. That's why she was able to claim the name Pandemic, if anyone doubts that. The Pandemic runs twice a week on Sundays and Thursdays. She's straight out of Salt Lake City, and even though she's raunchy, they love her. I don't know why. I hear they're kind of conservative there. I bet she's going to tell us all about it. Hey, please welcome to the Blue Mic stage, Mrs. Rachel Rothenberg, soon to be Mrs.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do you ever think about that word gentleman, though? You know, a gentleman. Nowadays, we just call a man like that a cuck. Sad times. My name is Rachel Rothenberg. I am a very pedantic person. I think a lot about words, and you know, my pronouns are whom and whomst. I identify as a lady, but in the way that you scream it in traffic, you know? Watch where you're going, lady. Hey, fuck you, lady. That's how I identify. You know, but I always say that there are two types of women in this world, you know, women who are me and women who aren't me. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because it's an ontological fact. The nature of being. Only I can be myself. That is just true. The fact that I even wrote that last joke got me wondering, though, you know, why isn't there a society for lady geniuses called Mency? I wonder about a lot of lady things, like if there's an after party at a women's health conference, is it BYOBGYN? If I go to an orthodonto-gynecologist to get my crooked vagina fixed, will he prescribe me panty aligners? If my cat gets pregnant with a single kitten, but she isn't ready to be a mom, do I have to take her to the vet for 9 abortions? Worse yet, if my cat's career is just taking off and she gets pregnant with 6, do I have to take her in for 54 abortions? God. Luckily, no, I don't have to do that because like any responsible pet owner, when I first got my cat, I took her to the vet to get an IUD. You know. I am heterosexual, but only because I can't be the weird one in my comedic double act without a straight man. That's a comedy joke. But when I encounter a man with a small dick, I often find myself saying to him, you know, I just don't know if I have it in me. Recently taken up a new hobby, which is handwriting analysis. And I was really surprised to learn that my handwriting strongly indicates that I would be into oral sex, you know, both because of my large and consistent loops and because instead of writing using ink, I write exclusively using spit out cum. That joke was pretty depraved. I myself am a pretty depraved individual. I've been diagnosing myself with various depravities while reading the BDSM-5. I looked upon an electric milk frothing latte whisk in my kitchen and I thought about using it as a vibrator. That's why I don't trust myself with a gun. You know? The implication therein being that I might try to fuck a gun. Hard to say. But ultimately, I'm into normal consensual sex. You know, at the end of the day, that's what I'm into. And as such, I don't have a, well, you know, I have a safe word, but instead of having a safe word, I actually have a safe paragraph. Because as I mentioned, I'm very music. You know, and the way that that works is I'll be having sexual relations with my partner, and when things start to go down some avenue that I decide I no longer enjoy, I say to him, to completion, I henceforth revoke consent for intercourse, outer course, handercourse, mouthercourse, and uphold the revocation of consent for anal course, as well as the continuation of the unfashionable bans on analingus and all accompanying anus-related phalangeal acts upon me. Please withdraw yourself from whatever hole or holes you presently inhabit, and cease all ejaculatory endeavor. To be honest, that usually works. But as Jolie mentioned, I am in Utah, and the market in Utah is really for clean comedy. You're really supposed to be a clean comedian. That's like how you get booked. That's how you get, you know, on shows. Somehow I get on a couple of shows, but you know, it's complicated. And you know, the thing is, I do try to sit down to write cleaner material. And what winds up happening to me is I wind up writing the dirtiest jokes I've ever written in my life when I try to write clean. And one example of this was I sat down to write some cleaner material on the toilet, but that maybe isn't relevant. And I ended up coming up with the dirtiest joke that I've ever come up with in my life, which is, I hate getting fucked in the ass. Boy, do I love taking a shit out of my pussy. And that joke does not make sense. I acknowledge that joke does not fully make sense, but the logic behind that joke is that shitting out of your pussy is the opposite of taking it up the ass, okay? So I need to try to rewrite this joke so that I can use it. I need to try to rewrite this joke so I can tell it in Provo, Utah, you know? So maybe if I change the wording of the joke, maybe I can still tell this joke, you know? Like maybe if I say, I hate getting bonked in the rear, but boy do I love taking a dump out of my down theres. Oh, man. So I was like, okay, maybe if I use a metaphor, you know, like I hate getting banged in the butt, but boy do I love pinching a loaf from my bread box. All of these are worse. All of these are definitely worse. I acknowledge this. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can still find a way to tell this joke. Maybe I can use my right as a Jew and I can tell this joke in Yiddish, right? You know, maybe I can get away with it if I say to audiences, I hate getting stuffed in the tuchus, but boy, do I love talking out of my schmundi. I have arrived at the end of my set. I will leave you guys with just one little piece of advice. Just one little piece of advice for you guys to chew on as you sleep tonight. You know, you don't have to swallow 8 spiders in your sleep, but you will if you're a spider slut.
Will you repeat that, please? Can you repeat that? Because on my end, I got a little feedback, and I think this is something that's really important for our audience members to take home with them tonight. If anything, it's got to be this. Could you repeat that?
Yes. You don't have to swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep, but you will if you're a good little spider slut.
Can we have another round of applause for all of our comedians and our audience members for taking the leap and doing a Zoom comedy show, our first one? So magical. From the start, we said we've been working out the kinks. So here's how far we've worked out the kinks in 10 weeks' time. Hope you enjoyed. Please follow our comics on social media. We are going to have a little party in the comments on the Rampantly page following this where I'll post a show flyer. And if you want to leave feedback or if comics want to share their socials there so that our audience members can find them, you can do that. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for taking a chance on us. Any last words from the comics? Should I put it back on WooCam?
Jolie, I want to say thank you very much for having us and putting all this on, all the hard work you've done, all the anxiety you've been going through.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's been worth it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know we all do.
Thanks, Chip.
You guys have become my favorite comics. Thank you so much.
It's always great working with you guys. I see you every week. I see you more than anybody else. So thank you. Enjoy it always.
Yeah.
Y'all are awesome. Thanks for coming out.
Oh.
Here's been messy.
Yeah,
This is the blue cheese, guys. Mmm.
Sorry.
Tastes so yummy. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is such a pleasure. We're doing it. We're pivoting, baby. Yes. All right. Any other last remarks? Cool. Comics, check your message, check your chat right now. Audience members, thanks again. Please feel free to leave us some feedback, share what we're doing with your friends. This is one of many different kinds of events that you can expect from our little outfit here. So be sure to follow us on social media and stay tuned for the future. Yeah, stay safe out there, everybody. I love you. Should I just turn the room off right now? So it doesn't get awkward. I know some people are getting blue balls just sitting in here. They're like, all right, come on. Like,
no,
I've been keeping a list.
Do it.
I
Can
gotta
you like
I gotta-
screenshot the chat for us or send the chat?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
Yeah.
Because I was just trying to get everybody's Instagrams and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Well, so comics, if you haven't checked your chat, and I didn't want to say this in front of the audience members, you know, because they're audience members. Just kidding, audience members. But Corey, Glynis, Hootie, Jonathan, Stu, Brad, Cassandra, Jonathan, Michael, thank you. But we're gonna hang out after this. If you are interested, I just started a new Zoom room that you can hop into, and we can debrief about the show and share info there. Okay. Okay.
Sweet.
Bye. Love you. Thanks again. You guys rock.
Bye.
Woo!